And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome back to the show the incredible New York Times best-selling author, live from Australia, Sally Hepworth, here to give us the inside scoop on her brand new book, The Soulmate. Sally, welcome back to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about The Soulmate.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be actually coming to America in the next few days, which is so exciting.
Yay!
And to be holding this copy in my hands. Okay, let me tell you about The Soulmate. The Soulmate is, well, I should start by saying that all of my books focus on family dysfunctionality. That's what I call my genre. And there's just so many dysfunctional relationships to choose from. And so I've done the mother-in-law, the good sister, I've done stepfathers. And so in this book, The Soulmate, I decided to focus on the most dysfunctional relationship of all, and that is marriage. So this book is about two married couples, Gabe and Pippa, couple number one, and they are living in a cottage on a cliff where, unbeknownst to them, until they move in there, it is a place that a lot of people go to take their own lives. They go to the cliff. And after moving in there, they kind of managed to turn this terrible news around by Gabe, the husband, becoming a bit of a cliff whisperer. And he is very successful at talking people off the ledge, so to speak. And in the 12 months that they have lived in this house, 7 people have come to the cliff, and Gabe has convinced all 7 to walk away from the cliff. But in the first chapter of the book, there is a woman at the cliff. He goes out there. His wife, Pippa, is looking through the window as he talks to her, and she notices that he's looking a little bit more animated than usual. His hands are flying around, almost as if they're having an argument. And then her attention is stolen and she looks away. And when she looks back again, the woman has gone over the cliff. And Gabe's hands are kind of out a little bit like this, as if he might have pushed her. So as we go forward, Pippa has to really kind of decide whether she believes her husband's version of events, and if she doesn't, why would her soulmate lie to her? The other married couple in the book is Amanda, who's the woman who has gone over the cliff and at the beginning of the book is dead. But we go back into her marriage with Max, both from a posthumous point of view, where she's dead, but also through flashback. And we discover how these two couples' lives intertwine and really look at the idea of what is a soulmate, do they exist, what do we do for our soulmates, and what should we do for our soulmates.
Ooh, Sally Hepworth hooked us good the way that only Sally Hepworth can. And we are here for this scoop, and we are going to take all of your burning questions. And then if you are in Boston, Houston, Ohio, Sally has an incredible lineup of events in the US, and you can go and meet her. And if you're in none of those locations, you can order signed books. Y'all, we have signed books from Queen Sally from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore, Murder by the Book. So you can pre-order tonight or anytime, and then Sally will sign your book and when she does her in-store event, and you can say who you want it signed to. So this would be a perfect Mother's Day gift. This would be a perfect birthday, any kind of gift for anyone in your life who loves mysteries and thrillers. And it could also be a beautiful gift for self. So you can
or for your husband, and you could tell him to look out, if he's behaving badly.
Right, exactly. Then that's probably the best warning of all. Oh my goodness. Queen Sally indeed. Yes, ma'am. Okay, Sally, the questions are already pouring in, so let's dive into them. Renee, welcome to the conversation. She says, hi, Sara and Sally from gorgeous Southeast Florida. Renee, welcome.
Hi, Renee.
Welcome.
I'd love to go to Florida. I have to try and get that on my list somehow for next time.
Please do. Donna, welcome to the conversation, saying hello from Texas.
Hello, Donna. I'm going to be in Houston.
Yay. Renee, I'm going to post a list of all the wonderful places that Sally will be, because you will definitely want to meet her. Sally is a hilarious and fabulous entertaining guest. And if you can't make it, just order a signed book tonight and she will personalize it for you. Catch a Clue, aka Wendy, saying Sarah and Sally, so good to join you tonight.
Hi, Wendy.
Renee saying the Soulmate sounds like a wonderful story. Oh my God, Renee, you will love this book. I'm telling you, I love all of Sally's books, and I think this is my favorite. It is so freaking good. We have a mystery user who I think is Anissa Joy, saying hello, Sarah and Sally from South Carolina. She says, Sally.
Hi, Anissa.
Yay. Hi, Anissa. She says she's going to see you soon, Sally. Wonderful. Looking forward to that. Donna's saying she loved how we got Amanda's point of view. Okay, Sally, let's pause and talk about that. So I loved Amanda's point of view as well. First of all, I loved Amanda as a character. I loved her backstory, how she had sort of triumphed over a very tough childhood, what her marriage meant to her, and how you handled that with such compassion and absolutely no judgment, really bringing us into her world. But it was interesting because she, as you said, we're getting some of that posthumously. Did you always intend to do that? Where you're like, she's going to speak to us from the other side? Did that evolve? Bring us into your practice, into your process.
Yeah, I didn't know if she or how she was going to come. It's funny because I am a plotter, and I do plan out my book to a certain extent, but I also leave some things not to chance, but I like to see what feels right. And I really didn't know if I would be able to pull off writing a character from not the grave, but from beyond. And so I really had to feel it out, and I started writing from her perspective, and I actually loved it from my own creative side, to step into that world and imagine what it would be like to be able to see all after death. I just found so fascinating, and I loved it, and it gave me a really good window into her life, and also the other thing I didn't know until I got to the end was why was she kind of still around to be able to narrate her perspective? Was she just going to disappear in the end? But when I got there, I wrote my way through it, I discovered exactly what she was doing there and what she was waiting for. So yeah, no, that was not a surprise so much as something I was just trying out, and it did work out at the end.
Very cool. Now, Sally, so you said you didn't know if you would be able to pull off writing a character from the other side of the grave, because that is a creative challenge. She's dead, so obviously neither of us knows how that really would feel. So when you said you got to the end and she revealed to you why and how, is that an example of how you didn't plot that and she revealed it to you, or did it change? What was that like?
Yeah, I didn't know. So that was a real kind of leap of faith. And I do tend to write a lot more than ends up in the book. It's not unusual for me to write, even 3 times the amount of words that end up in the book. And so it wouldn't have been a disaster if it hadn't have worked out. I could have just pulled that part out. But I do find that often when I get to a knotty part where I'm thinking, I don't know what's going to work, often I just pull one little thread and everything else falls into place. So I don't like to cut off those ideas that I try out at the beginning, in case it might just serve me at the end. And it doesn't always, but in this case, it was nice because I haven't done that particular creative challenge before, and I am at book 8, and I like to try new things, but only if they work. And at the heart of all of my writing is the desire to entertain. So I'm not going to drag someone through something, that's just for my own benefit. So I think it worked for the character as well.
It totally worked for the character. And it was such an interesting counterbalance as Pippa's trying to figure out whether Gabe, pushed her. Why would he do that? How could her soulmate do that? Is this actually happen? Was it just the angle, whatever? And then we're also hearing from Amanda and trying to understand. I mean, that just really cranked the tension up in such a fabulous, fascinating way. And you guys are all going to love it as well. So be sure to pre-order tonight. I'll be dropping that link in as we go. Okay. Renee wants to know, Sally, why do you want to focus on dysfunctional families so much?
That's a great question, because I would probably say that although my mum always said when I was growing up that we had a very dysfunctional family, on the whole, and certainly compared to some of the characters in this book, we didn't have a particularly dysfunctional family. I mean, my parents are still married and fairly, happy and in love, and I get along very well with my brothers and with their wives and the extended family. But I think that there's so much fodder in the family dynamic and so much opportunity to bring something larger than life into life. And I guess on a more basic level, just the nuance of family fascinates me, that someone can be this really kind of powerful, alpha character out in the world, but then they come back to their family home with their mum, and then all of a sudden they're a little boy again or a little girl again. And I just think there's so much to play with when you've got those family dynamics, and then you add in-laws and you add in, step partners and children. It's a little bit like the medical world or the the crime world. There's just so much material, and so many people can relate to it.
Oh, I love that. I love that because there's as you said, there's so much fodder, and then also getting in there and bringing these issues out into the light gives us all permission to talk about how, and think about how our families are, as kind of crazy or dysfunctional or eccentric or whatever, and that we all are, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
exactly. That's a big part of it too, is that it's a way of connecting with people and letting them know that, hopefully no one's murdering each other in their family, but if there is some, mental health issues, if there's some, disharmony or arguments over inheritance or, whatever it may be, it's so normal and everyone is going through something.
Everyone is going through something. Exactly. And that's very, very comforting. Y'all, we have signed books. No matter where you're watching from, Facebook, YouTube, we are going live to 7 different destinations. You can click here, pre-order here, and you can have Sally sign and personalize your book. Just put it in the notes when you place your order, who you want it signed to, and the good folks at Murder by the Book will get her to sign it and send it out to you. It is such a perfect gift. So please grab yours, grab one for everyone you love tonight. Tam, welcome to the conversation, saying, can't wait to read this one. I love Sally. Yay, Tam. Thanks so much for joining us. We love Sally
Thank
too.
you, Tam.
Randy saying, this is my second time watching you being interviewed. I can't wait for our copy. Yay, Randy. Welcome to the conversation.
Thanks, Randy.
Catherine saying, hi from North Carolina. Hi, Catherine. Welcome to the conversation.
Hi, Catherine.
Queen Sally is in the house. Renee seconding, birthday books make such wonderful gifts. And also she wants you to come to Florida. Yes, we need you to get to Florida.
I'd love to.
Donna would like to know, does this Cliff House location exist somewhere?
That is a great question. So there is a real life place that this book was inspired about or inspired by. And that is a place called The Gap, and that's in Sydney. And there was a real story that I read in the newspaper about a man who lived opposite this cliff called The Gap. And he had, like the character Gabe, made his life's work out of talking people off the cliff. And that was over a period of about 50 years. And he would go over to the cliff and he would sit there, sometimes all day and talk to people. And it was estimated that he saved over 500 lives during his lifetime. And so that was the cliff that I based the book on. But I didn't use that location because I don't really want to point anyone to places where, they can take their lives, and B, I wasn't particularly familiar with that location because I live in Melbourne. So I based the book at a place called Portsea, which is where my parents live. It's a place I know really, really well. And while there is plenty of cottages on the cliff there, they're probably not places that you would die if you fell. So I there's a real story, but I just added a bit of creative license there.
Oh, I love knowing that backstory. Brenda, welcome to the conversation. She said, it's okay that you aren't coming to Minnesota this year because I am going to be out of the country, but next time, add it to the list, Sally, add it to the list. And
I would love that.
Anissa wants to know, Sally, do your characters lead you or do you lead them? Yeah, let's talk a little more about this.
That's a great question. I would say they probably lead me, even though I plot. It's a sort of period of discovery. So when I start writing a book, the characters almost always feel a bit wooden and a bit cardboard cut out. And it takes some time for me to get to know them. And so often something I have planned as a dramatic twist or as a big plot point, by the time I get to it, I think, oh no, Gabe wouldn't do that, or Fern wouldn't do that. And I will change it up. So in that way, yes, they lead me. But I also, in a way, lead them because I will start with something in mind and I lead them towards that. And, you know, sometimes they'll choose it and sometimes they won't. So I feel like we're kind of partners and we listen to each other and then we see what both me and the characters want the best thing for the book. So it's sometimes they win, sometimes I win.
Would you say you're soulmates?
With some of them and not with others.
Interesting. We're going to need to know more about that, Sally. Emily, welcome to the conversation, saying, I am such a huge fan of your books. I just put my 5-star review for this book on Goodreads. This book is so beautiful. Emily, isn't it beautiful? It's such a heartfelt book. It's such a heartfelt book, as all of Sally's books are. And I was thinking as I was reading it, I was like, this feels like trademark Hepworth. And I was like, what does make a book? By the way, I just want everyone to notice I have color coordinated my outfit because Sally's all about fashion. She always has the best outfit. So I thought I got to step it up for Sally. So please note this level of coordination. But I thought, what is trademark Hepworth? And I think it's this beautiful empathy, this beautiful compassion. And as she's, getting into the cracks of a marriage or the relationship between sisters or mother-daughter or exes or whatever it is, there's always a level of mental health, neurodiversity, whatever the issue is, there's such a respect for the character, for the issue, for the dynamic, for the marriage. There's a respect and a kindness and a compassion. And I just love that about Sally's books. And I feel like that comes from Sally herself.
So that's beautiful feedback. Thank you.
Oh, yay. Okay. We have so many. Oh my goodness. Okay. Andrea, welcome to the conversation. She can't wait to read this. Oh my gosh. Andrea, you are going to love it. Brenda's joining us from Italy. Yay. Charlotte says, well, Charlotte, welcome to the conversation. She said, I just finished The Younger Wife. Wow. I loved it. I can't wait for this one. Yay. Well, Charlotte, you need to treat yourself to a signed book. The link is in the comments. And Nisa wants to know, good question. Sally, who has been your hardest character to write in all of your books and why?
That is a great question. I think it was probably the character of Clementine, who was in my second book, The Things We Keep. And Clementine was a 7-year-old point of view character. And I found it really tricky to not just give her perspective via dialogue. I often have children in my books and I get the dialogue because I have little children and I know the things that they say, but I don't know what's going on inside their head. And I had to do a few passes at her because first of all, she was too mature. Her thoughts were too mature, and the things that she, the sense she was drawing from things, and then it was too simplistic. So that was probably my biggest challenge, I would say. It's a great question.
And with you having your own 3 children, how children's minds work and how they're questioning. I mean, I'm always so interested to watch, as someone who's chosen not to have children. What are they like? And then sometimes you post these videos of how they think and the questions they ask, and it's so interesting. So I love that you drew on that. Of course, your own daughter being named Clementine to create this character.
But you
Yes.
don't always know. You know what they say and you know what they tell you, but you don't actually know what they're thinking. And I think that was the challenge that I had with that book. You can't be inside someone else's head.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm loving this conversation. Okay, we have a mystery user, and I have a feeling this is Christina. Christina, she's saying, I am on page 170 and I am obsessed. All capitals. She said, I just finished The Younger Wife last night and immediately started this one because I wasn't ready for it to be over. Sarah sent me a signed copy for Christmas. This is my friend Christina Cook. Christina is the amazing
Hi, Christina.
founder of Bitchy Bookworms, which is one of the most enormous, dynamic, engaged, and kind book groups on Facebook with 167,000 members. People love her reviews. She's an incredible human being, an incredible reader. She loves writer. And yes,
nice to meet you.
I got her a signed copy of your book for last year. And she says, you are a genius. My friend Ashley and I were just saying last week, we want a sequel to The Good Sister so we can see what Fern was up to. You are one of my favorite authors. I love how your book grabs you from the very beginning.
Oh, thank you. That is so lovely. And I would like there to be a sequel to The Good Sister as well, but it hasn't happened yet. Or even a prequel. I think about Fern a lot, and I think she'll come back at some point. I just have to figure out in what way.
So Christina posted the other day that Fern is her favorite character. I think she's actually rereading The Younger Sister because she read it when it came out last year, and she said she was posting, I love this character of Fern. She said that it had reminded her of Nita Prose's The Maid, also addressing neurodiversity on the page, which I love. And she says Fern remains. She just commented, Fern remains her favorite character ever. So we're going to need more Fern, Sally. Going to need more Fern. Should we get hashtag more Fern trending? I feel like we should.
Yeah, let's do it.
And Nisa wants to know, Sally, what pulled you into writing thrillers? Yeah, how'd you get started?
I don't know. It's always so funny when people ask me about my strategy. I always say, have you met me? I don't have any strategy, not to my social media, not to my writing. I'm really led by what feels right and what I want to do. And after my first 3 books were, more, they were health-based, women's fiction. And then with the 4th book, which was The Family Next Door, people call that my kind of, my bend into thrillers, or my little step into thrillers.
Darkness.
But it really, yeah, exactly. But it really just came to me with that book. It was just, there was a crime in the book, and that was the book that came to me. And I never really thought of it as, oh, I'm doing something different. It was still about women. Most of my books had a mystery at the heart of them. And in that case, there was just yeah. I mean, I don't really think of my books as being thrillers. I more think of them as domestic suspense, but they're categorized as all sorts of things. Thrillers, crime. I always feel so cool when my books are shelved under crime. I feel like I need to, stop smiling as much and start wearing more black when my books are shelved in crime. But for me, it's never about the genre. It's really just about the book and the characters that I want to be writing. And at the moment, there just seems to be a lot of dead bodies. It could be because I'm heading towards perimenopause and I'm becoming a bit, angrier. Yeah. This is my way of being a Karen. I just kill everyone. And then once I get over this period, I might go into writing, really lovely books about people running through fields, romance. We'll wait and see.
You're getting so many laughing faces on Facebook. Everybody, there's all these little laughing faces are flying through the air. I love it. So it's interesting that you don't consider your books thrillers.
No, and I maybe shouldn't be saying that, because I think that my publishers do, and they, and this does look like a fairly thrillerish kind of tight cover. I mean, to me, thrillers really are like a kind of murderous books, and I don't know. But I think very little about genre. I just think about
Ooh.
the kind of books that I want to write and the kind of books I would want to read. And genre really is for publishers and for bookstores to know where to put the books. So I just stay out of all that.
I love it. Anissa, thank you for the great question. Question that led us into this juicy answer. Donna is saying, Sally, the cover is gorgeous. Did you have any input? The cover is gorgeous. Look at this beautiful frothy waves, the cliff, and you can't really see it, but there's beautiful lavender right here. Did you have any input, Sally? Tell us the story of the cover.
Zero. I had zero input, which is glorious, but I love it. And they sent it to me with an email saying, "We hope that you love it." And as it happened, I did. And it looks a lot like where I envision the cliff to be in the book, and looking down on that cliff. So yeah, I think it's beautiful. It really speaks to me. It's the kind of book I would pick up, but yeah, no input. It's very rare that I get involved in a cover unless I really don't like it. In general, they do that, and I focus on the book, on writing the books.
Your books always have beautiful covers, but I do think this one, point, is exceptionally beautiful. Donna, thank you for the great question. Sally, thanks for the scoop on the book. Renee saying thank you for answering her question as well. Renee, that's what we're here for. We want you to have access to your favorite authors and meet your next favorite authors. That's what we are all about here. Someone else is saying, I loved it. Renee says she'd love to get a personalized signed book from Sally and read The Soulmate. The link is in the comments, Renee. Treat yourself, my friend. Treat yourself. You're going to love this book. Oh my goodness. So let me just make sure I'm not missing anybody's comments because they're coming in so fast. Renee's saying she just watched Succession for a dysfunctional family. It makes most families feel normal or seem normal.
I love Succession.
Yay. My husband is obsessed with that show. Okay. We have someone saying, hey ladies, first, this interview makes me so happy. Second, I love Sally Hepworth and I am so looking forward to diving into this book. Lastly, I sure hope I did this right. And you can see it's me typing, haha. If not, it's me, Karen Malik. Hi, Karen. So we're broadcasting we're broadcasting to a few private Facebook groups. So if you're in a private group, everyone in the group can see you, but those of us who are outside the group, they protect your privacy. So that's how this works. Andrea would like to know, Sally, what authors do you like to read?
Oh, good question. I mean, so many, and I'll forget all the ones that I love. But Australian authors, I love Jane Harper, who's also a friend of mine, Leanne Moriarty, Jane Cockram. We've got some great authors here. Kate Morton, her new book is out at the moment, or is about to come out. And then in the States, I mean, it just goes on and on. I'm Stephen Rowley, who wrote The Guncle. That's one of my very favorites. And Colleen Oakley is an American author that I love. Emily Gibbon, Mary Kubica. I could just go on and on. Sue Monk Kidd is one of my very favorites. Diane Chamberlain, I've been reading for years and years, and is one of my favorites. And she's interviewing me when I'm in North Carolina in Raleigh, and I said, I'm going to hug the crap out of you, and I think I scared her a little bit. So that's awkward. Yeah, I mean, Chandler Baker, Catherine Center.
Ooh, yes.
The list goes. Oh, Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Ooh.
How long have we got?
That is such a great list. And so many of those authors have been on here. Jane Harper was just on for the second or third time. She's absolutely fabulous. She did a signing as well. And Chandler Baker is coming back when her next book, The Cutting Teeth, comes out. So she's fabulous as well. So everybody stay tuned for a special pre-launch for that.
She's interviewing me as well in Houston, which will be gorgeous.
Yay. So someone is asking, Sally, where are you coming? So you guys, I'm going to post the link of all the places that Sally's going. This is from Sally's website. So Sally will be here, and I am just going to post that link to her website. So It is very mysterious. It is Sally Hepworth author.com. But here is that link. And you can see all of the places that she's coming, and join her on tour or pre-order from our favorite woman-owned bookstore, Murder by the Book. Renee's saying, shouting out my matching the outfit. Oh, I had to step it up when the fabulous, fashionable Sally Hepworth is coming on. You can't just be Jesus in a t-shirt when Sally's coming. Sally, will your family be traveling with you?
No, sadly not. It's just me this time. And I'll be going, I'll tell you, I think I've got them off the top of my head. I'm going to Boston, Raleigh, North Carolina, California to Santa Monica, Zippy's bookstore, Houston, Arizona,
St. Louis, Missouri, Parma,
St.
Ohio,
Louis.
Woodstock, Georgia,
Yes.
Houston, Texas, Murder by the Book. We've got Scottsdale, Arizona, Santa Monica, California, Minayan, Victoria.
Oh yeah, that's back here in Australia.
That's what she gets back there. Raleigh, North Carolina, Boston, Massachusetts, and Greenville, South Carolina.
Yes, Greenville.
So everybody here, I've posted the link on I've posted the links to the entire trip. So, sorry, it was Debbie. It was you. How do we learn if who asked, how do we know if Sally is coming? So I just posted it. So go ahead and grab that. Someone saying, howdy, Sally. The Soulmate is your best yet. I loved meeting you last year in Texas. Hooray. Thank you so much for joining us.
And yes, with all that hopping around, it would be a disaster to bring my kids along to that. But maybe when they're a bit older, I might bring one of them at a time. But it's I'm only really in one place, for a day at a time. So yeah, it's better. It's just me.
Sally's travel schedule is grueling. When you go to her website, you will see it is not a restful trip. Patricia, welcome to the conversation. She said, this was a 10 on a scale of 1 to 5. Oh. I'm so used to Mr. Sally Hepworth's antics on Instagram. I couldn't help seeing him in Gabe, though. This was such a well-developed book. Patricia, I also had this thought. I was like, this is, because Christian is so funny and so brilliant and charismatic and charming. And I was like, oh, I wonder, this is feeling very Gabe and Christian like to me.
I mean, I often will lend a few little Christian things and slide them in, but the character of Gabe has, and it's not really a spoiler to say, some mental health issues which Christian does not have. And I really relied quite heavily on a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. Her brother had a similar mental health condition, and I really lent on her and her family to help inform that character. So while there are little pieces of Christian maybe in there, being a stay-at-home dad and some of those things, it's a fictional character, but it's based on someone that I know.
Gabe is so wonderful. I mean, he's so easy to love. You can see why Pippa loves him so much. Let me see. Someone saying, we need to get some Texas boots added to your tour wardrobe. Okay, so you're going to get some boots when you get to Houston as well. I read the folks
read
the book can help.
I don't know how I'll fit them in my luggage, but yeah.
You cram them up.
I actually have some cowboy boots because I lived in Canada, in Alberta, for 3 years, and they have got this big rodeo. So I've got some gorgeous cowboy boots, but I don't know if they're going to fit in. You can always use more, right? Who can have too many sets of cowboy boots? Oh my God,
there's no such thing as too many cowboy boots. Renee would like to know, Sally, what are you working on now, and how long does it usually take you to write a book?
It takes me about a year. I bring out a new book a year, and I'm not working on the book for the whole year. It tends to kind of be broken up with things like touring and other things. But I have delivered my next book already, so that's done, and that's with my publisher. I sent that off a few weeks ago, and I'm just starting to turn my head to what I'm going to write next. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to start it when I get back from this tour.
Oh my gosh. So, wow. Yeah. Because you do put out a book a year, you're already not only on the second book, you're starting 2 books ahead of us. So you're really having to reach into the black hole to remember, because you were probably working on this one 2 or 3 years ago. Wow. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember all the characters' names. No, I remember them.
Yeah, because to us it's not even out yet. But for you it was a while ago. Renee also praising this beautiful cover. Isn't it so gorgeous, you guys? I absolutely love it. Donna saying Jane Harper is so great. Jane Harper is so great. I love her books.
And she's great. She's a good friend of mine, and she's even greater in her personal life.
Yay. Donna's seconding Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yay. Christine is saying she's revealing herself as the Stamford lady, 50.
Hi, Christine.
Yay. Renee saying, please spend more time in the US. Patricia saying, that is very good to know. It seemed authentic, speaking of the creation of the character of Gabe. Renee wants to know who's interviewing you in Boston. That is the fabulous Robin with Reads with Robin. We'll be interviewing host Sally at the Lenox Hotel in Copley Square in Boston. Renee, readers got to read. Welcome to the conversation. She says, is there a setting in Australia you would like to add to an upcoming book?
I don't know yet. It depends on the book, and I feel like often the things like setting, character, plot, they all come together. And so I don't think I would start by saying, oh, what is the setting I want to go to, and then creating. It's more about what would be the best setting for this particular book. So a lot of the books I have written in Australia are set in Melbourne, my hometown where I live, and also down the coast where, as I said, my parents live. But I don't know. I don't know. Nothing's speaking to me unless I come up with a character that I think, oh, this would be the perfect setting. So characters come first.
What a great question and a fabulous answer. And I used to live in Australia, so that's another reason why I love Sally's books is I'm like, ooh, I'm back. I'm on the page at least. Renee would like to know, can you reveal the title of your next book, Sally?
I don't know if I'm allowed to. I haven't put it out there yet. I think I'd better not, but for now, but it will be, if you follow me on Instagram, we will get it out there. That's where you'll hear about it first. But I better get permission first. I don't want to get in trouble.
And everybody should be following Sally on Instagram because she is hilarious. Her fashion is fabulous. Her kids are funny. Christian is always a treat. So here is the link. I'll pop it in the comments as well so that you can follow her if you're not already, because she is so freaking fabulous. Margaret Pinard joining us from the Pacific Northwest saying, I would love to visit Melbourne. Hepworth books give me an excuse. Exactly. They do. Here is the link to Sally's Instagram. Everybody grab that and go follow her. She's so much fun. Y'all, we are out of time, but time flies when you're having fun. So once again, here is the link to Sally's tours. If you can come meet up with her, you will, I promise you, a rollicking good time.
Please do.
Yay. And again, everybody can order signed, personalized books from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. And again, I'm thinking Mother's Day books. I am thinking birthday for your best friend, for your sister, for you. Treat yourself, you guys. Here's that link again. You will be wanting to grab that. No matter where you're ordering from. Oh, thank you for all the hearts, you guys. I'm just seeing all these bouquets of hearts flying up. Anissa says pink or green for Greenville, please.
Good idea. I think green for Greenville is probably, I think she's talking about the dresses that I wore on Instagram yesterday. And I feel like green for Greenville makes sense.
I think that will be fabulous. I can't wait to see what you wear. Margaret is clapping. Renee saying, thank you for being with us, Sally. I'm ordering one for myself. Someone's saying they're going to come see you in Scottsdale. Patricia says, I have my book of the month copy. I'm excited to read this. Renee sending us so much love. Y'all, thank you for joining us. And Anissa's giving us green hearts for Greenville. I see what you did there, Anissa Joy. I love it. Y'all, what a pleasure. Sally Hepworth, I can't wait to see you on this side of the world. Thank you for joining us. And you have to come back next year because now it's an annual tradition. Now we just do this every year.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay,
do
perfect. Yay. All right, y'all. That is a wrap. Have a
Thank you,
wonderful night.
everyone.
I will see you next week for Mystery Monday. Have a wonderful week until then.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, Sally.